What's up everyone, welcome back to Saint Seiya Awakening. Get your pen and paper ready because today we have the review for Poseidon, the first god available in the game, the first of the double S units, and an amazing unit with a whole bunch of variety in his skills and ways that you can use him, but he's really complicated, so this is going to be a beast of a review. I summoned for him today here on my global account. I did not get lucky. I think we did like 200 and something summons. How many did we do? 231. No Poseidon, and we got 54 shards, so we're still quite a way away from getting him. Anyway, fortunately we have him on the SEA account, so I'm going to jump on that server now so that we can look at all his skills, abilities, all his team combinations, and put him to a test in Arena. Before we do that though, there's a couple of things that I want to mention about Poseidon himself, which you need to know before you even summon him. The first one being that because he is a double S Saint, the chances of getting him from summons are much lower. This guy has a 0.16 chance of appearing, which I think that gets doubled during the banner, so that's a 0.32% chance of getting Poseidon. That's the first obstacle. The second one, the shard drop rate, even though it's not horrible, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I did 200 summons and got 50, so theoretically I would have to do about 600 to get him from shards. Initially I thought you would need close to 1,000, so that's not so terrible. What is terrible is that the event got nerfed. Remember last time we said the best strategy to take advantage of the summoning event was to do 40 summons daily, because we got 1 shard at level 10 and then we got 2 shards at level 40. Well, level 40 does not exist anymore. It jumps straight from level 10 to 60, and there are no shards at 60, so that is a major sucks. There's even less help to get it from shards than there was for S rank Saints. And the third one is that if you do manage to summon a Poseidon, you have to give really careful consideration to the cost of building him. He is an amazing unit. I think you guys know that because I've been talking about him forever. Starting off with tomes, if you want to unlock all of his abilities, which there's 10 of, you need 18 blue tomes, because for double S Saints, you can't skill him up with blue tomes. You need to skill him up with green tomes, and you get 1 green tome by combining 2 blue ones. You need 9 skill ups multiplied by 2 blue tomes, that's a total of 18. Also, the cost of unlocking his 8 cents is much higher as well. Remember, the requirements change depending on the level of the Saint. If it's a B Saint, it's really easy to open the 8 cents, then A is a little more expensive, S is a little more expensive, and SS is the most expensive of all. For example, if you wanted to unlock the last level, this is Libra as an example, but if you wanted to unlock this last level of 8 cents, instead of needing 30 of these seals, you need 50, and that's for each one of those sections. The cost of the dust and this blue ball that I never remember what the heck it's called, that cost goes up as well. The price is much higher. Now, why am I mentioning this in a review that should be all positive about the amazing Poseidon? It's because I'm still not sure if it's worth investing that amount of resources in a single unit, or if those resources go a longer way if you spread them out and kind of upgrade your whole team. We're gonna look at Poseidon, his skills, everything he can do, everything he can't do, and then that'll be a decision you have to take. But I wanted to put it out there because it is something that you have to think about. I don't want you to start leveling him and then kind of realize that it's so expensive and you stop halfway and then you already wasted those resources. So that's why I'm putting it out there before we start the video and you see his skills and you think, oh my god, he's the best in the world. Let's jump over to SEA and start looking at specifics. Okay, here we are then with Mr. Poseidon on my SEA account. Now, the first thing we have to understand before we actually get to even using his skills is that what you see here on screen, these icons that usually represent skills for different Saints, are not actually skills in Poseidon's case. These are different elements that he can control, and depending on how we combine these elements, we unleash different skills during the battle. 3 elements that he can control are water, ice, and we'll call this one thunder. The 4th skill, which is a passive but not really a passive, is how we actually execute that skill that we unlocked with the combination of the elements. Now, the way Poseidon works in every turn is, instead of just clicking a skill and then clicking an enemy, what you have to do is you have to select 3 elements, and that can be any combination you want. You can do triple water, or you can do 1 water, 1 ice, 1 thunder, or 2 ice and a thunder. However you wish to combine it, there are 10 different combinations. So you start by clicking 3 of them for the skill that you want, and then you activate it with the 4th one. Now, before we even get to those combinations, we have to talk about each element because each one of them has different properties that apply to our team or ourselves during the battle. The water element can grant us damage reflection during battle every time that you use it. Now remember, I told you, you have to pick 3 elements. Anytime water is included in any one of those 3 picks, this buff of damage reflection will be granted. By leveling up water, we can also unlock 2 additional skills that are going to be the Tide Vortex and the Tide Shell. We're going to look at all those individually in just a second. The element of ice can improve our status hit by 2% every time we use it. That's on skill level 1, or by a maximum of 8 if we get it to skill level 5. On levels 2 and 3, we also unlock the Ice Crystal Armor and the Ice Crystal Seed. And under Thunder, we have a really cool effect. This one increases our final damage by 1% every time we use it. This is at skill level 1, but it can go all the way up to 4% if we max skill it. Just like the other ones though, that isn't the primary focus. What we want to do here is get to at least level 3, because at 2 we unlock the Thundercloud Split Lightning, and at 3 the Thundercloud Blizzard. So you see where the skill tome requirement comes in. Poseidon starts with some basic skills. When we get get him when we summon him and we don't skill him up, he's got a few skills available. If we want to unlock those additional skills, then we need to level up these elements to 3 each. And like I mentioned a little while ago, with the 4th skill, which is a passive, but not really a passive in his case, this is how we activate the skill that we selected. When we use it, the buffs granted by the different elements will be applied to us, or if we are using the AoE attack, will be applied to our whole team. This one also allows those buffs to stack. It starts at 3 stacks on level 1, and it can go all the way up to 10 stacks. Just think about that for a second. Damage reflection, increase in status hit, and increase in final damage, stacking up to 10 times. That is craziness. Obviously, that requires a whole nother bunch of skill ups, which you don't typically do because it's just way too costly. Perfect. Now we know what each element does, what each element grants us. Now it's time to talk about all the different combinations. And thank goodness, we have Mr. Jester. He's been helping me with a lot of the graphical stuff on the channel, including that new cool logo, the one that says Androli-san at the bottom, and he made this beautiful graph for us, which lists all of Poseidon's 10 abilities, 10 possible combinations. Now, when we first get him, we have 4 of those available. Those are going to be triple water, triple ice, triple thunder, and 1 of each. 1 water, 1 ice, 1 thunder. Those are the 4 skills that he comes right out of the box. You can use those. So you have 3 individual attacks for each element and the big AoE attack, his wave. Let's look at those basic abilities first. And if you want to check yourself when you're in game, you can just click on this trident down here and then click on the little trident here under this description. This will open up his real skill book instead of the other screen. Here you have all 10 possible combinations with their icons so that you can easily reference them and the description for each one of them. We're gonna go through them all, starting off with triple water, which is the tidal power. This will do an individual attack with a 150% multiplier and will place a tidal mark on the target. Now remember these marks because they come into play later in the skills. The second basic skill is triple ice, which is ice power. It also deals 150% damage, but it grants an ice mark instead of the water. You see where we're going? Then there's the thunder power, triple thunder, which deals 150 damage and places a thunder mark. The last of his basic skills, or skills that don't require any skill ups at all, is the realm of flowing water, which is 1 water, 1 ice, 1 thunder. When you execute this thing, which only costs 3 energy, you will perform an AoE attack with 230% damage, and it also grants you the buffs from all of the different elements to your entire party. This is insane. And if that wasn't enough, it would also tag the main target, because remember, even though it's an AoE attack, you still have to click on an enemy to activate it, right? On one certain enemy. That main target will receive all 3 marks: water, ice, and thunder. Now, why are these marks that we keep mentioning important? That's because all of the additional skills, the ones that we can unlock by upgrading his elements, they all have some sort of mechanic that activates or doesn't activate depending on the marks. The first one of these is the Tide Vortex, which is water, water, ice. This one summons an additional unit called a Sea Spirit Vortex, and it inherits 60% of Poseidon's HP. So it's like a summon, just like Scylla's Banshee or Isaac's Tentacles. It's an additional unit that you can put on the battlefield. Now, one very important thing to keep in mind about these additional units is that, unlike other characters, where nothing happens if the enemy kills one of the summons, if one of Poseidon's summons is eliminated, he will take 160% Cosmo damage. So always use these with caution. They're not as tanky as Poseidon, they're easy to kill, and he will take damage when they die. What this first summon does is that after Poseidon's turn, it will randomly decrease the physical and Cosmo defense of one enemy. Now, this is random, but it will prioritize targets that already have the title mark. Remember the marks that we talked about? This is where they come into play. So if you want to defense break a specific unit, you first have to mark it with a water mark, and then the summon will target that unit. The cool thing about this though is that after you summon them once, they stay on the battlefield, and after every single one of Poseidon's turns, they will defense break again. The same is true for the Sea Tide Shell, which is another summon. This one is water, water, thunder. It again inherits 60% of Poseidon's HP, and if it dies, Poseidon will take damage. But what this one does is that it attaches itself to a target, again prioritizing people with the title mark, and if that target attacks you, that enemy will receive 270% Cosmo damage automatically. So again, the way that you would use this is if you want to target an enemy damage dealer, you would first have to mark it with the water, then summon this thing, and it'll attach itself to that unit that has the water mark. After that, whenever that unit attacks you and does damage, it'll take damage as well. Next up, we have the 2 ice skills. The first one is Ice Crystal Armor. You can put this on one of your allies, and when that ally receives damage, the damage will be reflected. All of the damage will be reflected to the attacker. The armor will be active until it reflects a total of 35% of Poseidon's HP, and if the attacker has an ice mark, there's a 30% chance, plus status hit, that additional damage will be done. 35% additional damage, and that's true damage, so it ignores defense. He can place 2 of these things on allies. Next up is the Ice Crystal Seed, and this one works similarly in that you can put it on an ally, but instead of reflecting damage, when that ally is attacked, then the attacker will receive 260% of Cosmo damage. That's based on on Poseidon's damage, obviously. If the attacker has an ice mark, then the seed can permanently slow down that unit by 25%. And this one is a really high chance, 85% plus status hit, so it's almost guaranteed that if the ally that you have protected is attacked, then the enemy's speed will be reduced. Again, he can do 2 of these on 2 allies. And last, we have the Thunder skills, which are really the big daddies of damage here. The first one, Thunder Power Split Lightning. This thing starts off as an individual attack, dealing 260% Cosmo damage, but it also has a chance to become pretty much an AoE. After the initial attack, it has a chance of breaking off into additional lightnings and attacking more enemy units. The more of our allies that are still alive in the battle, then the higher the chance that it will divide. This is a great skill to use at the beginning of the battle when you have a full team. It's basically an AoE, but it only costs 2 energy, which is really good. And the last unlockable unit is the Thundercloud Blizzard, which is a massive individual attack. This is one of my favorite skills in Poseidon. He starts by attacking a target 3 times with 80% Cosmo damage each time, so that's 240%. However, if that target has a Thunder mark, each attack will do an additional 50%, pushing your total damage to 390. It also has the chance to freeze, which is crazy. This is the skill that turns Poseidon into such a beast because not only does he have massive AoE damage, he can also single target nuke. And that's great flexibility to have in an attacker. Combined with all of the other buffs and debuffs that his elements and his skills grant him, this guy is a powerhouse. Expensive as hell to build, but a powerhouse nonetheless. Speaking of upgrading and resources and getting him to the level that you want him, we gotta talk about the skills and what happens if you don't have the 18 tomes required to unlock everything. Here I'm gonna give you my opinion. These are the skills that I like to use most. Other people will probably have a different opinion. They use them in different ways and all of them can be valid. For me, the most useful skills on Poseidon, the ones that we can unlock, are going to be the defense break, which is water, ice, and you only need the water on level 2 to unlock it. And the other one is the single target nuke, which is thunder, ice. For that one, you need thunder to be on level 3. But if you're gonna get it to level 3, then you also unlock the one at level 2, which is the single target that can also be AoE. So it's a really effective way to get a lot out of him. At the end of the day, you're gonna have 3 individual attacks that use no energy. You're gonna have a defense break. You're gonna have basically an AoE that only costs 2 energy. And you have a single target nuke that can also freeze and only cost 2 energy. If you want to unlock these skills, then you need water at level 2 and thunder at level 3, bringing down the tome requirement from 18 to only 8. If I pulled up Poseidon right now, that's probably what I would do. I don't think I would dump all of my tomes in him right now. I would try to unlock those 3 skills and start using him right away. Alright, and that's it for Poseidon skills. I have a headache already. The same thing happened when I did the Spanish review. This guy is so intricate, so complex, but so much fun. We're gonna look at his Cosmo now because fortunately that's a lot easier to understand and a lot easier to build than his skills, so it'll be a nice relaxing moment. Alright, his Cosmo is quite a bit simpler, and if you already have a Saga or an Arayashiki build, then you're pretty much already there. He's gonna use most of the same Cosmo, with Rosary being the best option under the red. It has 2 Cosmo attack boost and 8 Cosmo damage. If you wanted to go a little bit tankier, then you could use the classic Eagle Eye for Cosmo attack, Cosmo damage, but also 10% HP. Under Lunar is where he deviates a little bit from Saga and Arayashiki, because a lot of his additional skills require more status hit. If you are lucky enough to unlock a lot of his skills, then I think Seiya is the best option to get the most out of him. But if you're gonna play with a basic Poseidon that doesn't need status hit, then Tenacity, Bloom, and Knowing are all good options. He is a bit slow, so Knowing with the resistant helps quite a bit. Under Star, again, the best option is just like Saga and Arayashiki, Hummingbird, with Cosmo attack, speed, and Cosmo damage. If you wanted to play a faster type of supportish Poseidon, then you could go with New Moon, but really, I don't think anybody builds a support Poseidon. I think he's so cool to just kill units with him that go with Hummingbird and never look back. Under Legendary, again, if you're building an attack Poseidon, which I do think is the way to go, at least that's the way I would never build a support Poseidon, then Vulcan Chain works really well to increase the damage we do at the beginning of the battle. Wind Elf is another nice option as an attacker, which increases his Cosmo damage. That's the multiplier that gets applied when you use Cosmo attack. This thing gives us 10% more multiplier, but it also gives us a boost of 4% when we're attacking units that are not summoned. And the last one I'll mention is the Two-Horned Snake, which gives us more Cosmo attack, and it also deals 40% extra damage to units that already moved. Like I mentioned earlier, Poseidon is kind of slow, and we're living in a speed meta, so it's very likely that a lot of the enemy units will move before him. You can take full advantage of the boost that Two-Horned Snake gives you. In sub-attributes, since we're going attack, please just go attack. All the things you're going to be looking for are Cosmo attack, Cosmo damage, some speed doesn't hurt, and then status hit and HP are really good as well. Status hit for his additional skills and the HP just to help him survive a little bit longer. And that's really it. He really is quite simple to Cosmo up, which is a good thing because everything else is complicated. It's nice that here we can be straightforward. What's not so straightforward is talking about his teams, because he is such a versatile unit. He can pretty much fit in anywhere. Doesn't matter what team you've been using in PvP, you can throw this guy in there and use him as an AoE attacker, as a single target nuke. You can use him as a bit of support, you can use him with a little bit of control with the freeze. He can do pretty much anything. Some fun options to play around with if you want to increase his damage is, for example, a support that has an AoE, like the regular Shaka, or I don't know, maybe even Krishna. Equip them with Blood Elf, break defense, and then annihilate with Poseidon. You can also do the classic combo with Cannon. Since he is a Cosmo attacker, it works perfectly well, just like it works with Saga or with Arayashiki. He also benefits from the regular buffs that Daedalus gives, or Nachi, or the new C rank, the priest, whatever the heck his name is. And also the classic protection options like Saori, Mu that can help keep him alive. He plays well with healers like Marine, Pandora, or Katya, and you can combo him with pretty much any other attacker. It can be Shion, it can be Doko, it can be another AoE damage dealer, why not? His energy requirement is not that high, so you can technically go Poseidon and Saga in the same team if you want it to be crazy. Lastly, another unit that pairs really well with him is Luna, to double turn him, because remember, a lot of his skills depend on you getting a mark on the enemy first. So let's say you want to break defense on a specific target. On turn 1, you would mark him with the watermark, and on turn 2, you would summon your little thingy, whatever the heck it's called, and the defense break would for sure go on that unit. After a couple rounds, you can also double AoE since it only uses 3 energy, or you could defense break and then use the individual nuke. Pairs really well with Luna. Lastly, if you really want to mess with your enemy, remember, Poseidon can give your whole team damage reflection. Combine them with Misty and his damage reflection, and pretty much any AoE attacker that hits you after all those shields are up is just gonna commit suicide. There is so much reflect damage potential with these two guys. Among his weaknesses, we have to mention his speed, which is sort of low at 230. It's even slower than Saga and much slower than Arayashiki. The rest of his stats are really nice though. He makes up for it there. The second weakness, which is not something specific to him, but I'll mention it anyway, is control. He is susceptible to control, freeze, silence, all of the usual things. And lastly, the cost, which we already covered in detail. The amount of skill tomes and 8 cents materials you need this guy to get to full level is crazy. But having said that, I love him and I would love to build him properly on my account like I did here on SCA. Whether you do it or not is totally a decision. That's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. You have to look at the pros and cons and just figure out if it's worth the investment for your personal account. And lastly, we have his uses. He is good really everywhere. He's good in PvP. He's good in PvE to clear levels easily with his AoE attacks. And even if you just want to throw him here on the intro screen, he looks beautiful. Let's see him in action in the arena. Now, we are pretty low ranked since we don't play this version anymore, but hopefully we can find an opponent that has maybe some heals or protection. That way we can stretch out the fight and get to see all of his different skills. Alright, I found a victim here and he's rocking the little Pandora skin as his rep monster, which I think is really cool. And he doesn't have a ton of protection, but he does have a Marine in there. And he also has an interesting unit that we don't have on global yet, Hades. So let's see what happens when we pit God against God. Will we come out on top, or are these guys going to annihilate us? We're going to need Juna for sure, but that's good because we can stretch the fight as well. Alright, so I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know what Hades does. I never got him. I stopped playing this version before he came out, so I have no idea what's going to happen in this fight. I'm going to go with the same team that we used for the Spanish review because that worked really well. We have the Luna strategy, which I mentioned earlier. We have protection with June. We can steal some Cosmo with data loss, and hopefully this should be enough. I'm gonna bring Doko as insurance. Maybe he helps me clear some stuff at the end, like if we get stuck against Shion or something like that. Now, first round, I am going to double turn. Not much really, because I don't have a lot of energy available because we didn't bring a Kiki, okay? I'm definitely going to do this because he has 3 single target damage dealers, but a really slow Pegasus, and I haven't played this thing in months, so this is good already. Now, if we don't get a Ruck, I won't be able to heal, but I'm going to trust Ruck, especially because I double turned him. So let's see if we get it on the first one. Nice. Now, I'm not going to risk it for the second one, okay? We already got 1 Ruck. I'm not going to push my luck. I'm just going to touch this guy. Of course, we got the Ruck. God damn it. Figures. Greatest Eclipse. I don't know what that does. Now, we didn't double turn Poseidon. So here on this first one, I think if I summon something and they kill that summon, then I'm going to take damage. But I'm going to risk it anyway. I'm going to go for the defense break. Kind of start going skill by skill and see if we can use all of them in the same fight. I don't even know it's possible. Or whatever. We're going to give it a shot. So that's the first of our summons. And he chose to randomly defense break Doko. And in this case, it was random because we didn't have a watermark. Okay? Now, I'm going to keep myself topped off. Try to stretch this out as much as I can. And I'm going to try to kill Hades. Because I'm kind of scared of what he can do. Because I have no idea what that is. Okay, he got a dragon on my June. But I think we should be pretty okay. Now, on this one, I'm going to double turn Poseidon. That way, maybe we can summon our other guy. Summon our other unit and then do something else. Maybe get a watermark on somebody or something like that. I'm gonna keep stealing Cosmo attack to buff my Poseidon as much as I can, and also kind of take care of the damage on this guy because he's a little bit scary. Now, Water Thunder will do my other summon, and what this one is gonna do is it's gonna bury its hand under somebody's butt, and then when that unit does something, then something else will happen. And we have 2 turns. What are we doing? Should we try the attack that splits up? If we do that though, we're not going to have... Wait, which one is it? This one. We're not going to have energy to heal. Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I'm going to go on Pegasus, since it's here on the ground. But remember... Oh, this one only divided... Wow, that was a lot of damage. but it didn't divide as much as I would like to. So maybe I need to equip more status hit on my Poseidon. That wasn't nearly as much as I wanted to. Xion protected this guy. He's shielded. I can't hit him. Okay, let's hit this guy. And we have our hand under Kiki's butt. I'm not sure why Kiki, but whatever, it works. I don't think we can lose this anyway. We kind of have a really strong team, even though I haven't played for so long. I'm gonna double turn Poseidon again, and we'll see what else we can do. Now, there's one skill that I don't have unlocked because I ran out of skill tones and then I never played again. But I'm gonna try to finish something off here. Maybe we try to take care of this Hades before he gets too crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna use. Did I double turn Poseidon? I did, right? So what I'm gonna do is, wow, that skill is really cool. What I'm gonna do is, but it doesn't do anything. I'm going to Thundermark this guy. He healed himself. You guys see the, oh my god, 30,000 damage. Holy shiznit, Batman. Wow, that's a lot of damage. So if you notice, I used the triple thunder, and now I have a Thundermark on this guy. Now, I'm gonna use the individual nuke, which is this one. It uses 2 energy, that's Thunder, Thunder, Ice, and this thing is gonna die. We're gonna attack it 3 times, and we're gonna get the 50% extra damage because we have the Thunder. This is gonna die, no matter what. That was 60,000 total. 60,000 total damage from a unit that can also AoE. It's insane. And now everybody's got a hand in their butt. I don't even know why. This Pegasus is not skilled up because he's still in the floor. We'll see if we wakes up on this one, but I think we used most of the skills already, didn't we? I think we have one left. We have Ice, Ice. We have Ice, Ice something. There goes Pegasus again. It doesn't matter at this point. We got June. He can't do anything. Ooh, he attacked my summon. Wait, do my summons go into the... Yeah, they do go into the vine. Perfect. Let's increase the damage even more by stealing from Marine. Now, there's one attack that we have left. I think it's this one. And I can't remember what this one does. If at any point you have doubts, you can just do the combination and then you hold click on this one and it'll tell you. When enemies hit target, the armor causes some shit or other. Whatever, let's put it on one of our summons. Why not? We give armor to our... There's so many things going on screen. Look at this. Look at everything that's going on screen. Everything that's going on the screen just because of Poseidon. Now, we're going to use the big wave and we may just kill everything here. Although we can't hit Seiya. But we have a lot of buffs. Oh, okay. Did you guys see that? We did a ton of damage. And we also have buffs on our entire party now. 3 stacks of every single one of the buffs that the element gives us because we're at skill level 1. We never upgraded that skill. Alright, Doko's dead here. And now I am going to single target nuke this Marine into oblivion. Yeah, I'm gonna steal for the last time with data loss, and this Marine is going to go poof now with one of my favorite skills. Now, unfortunately, or should we do it on Xion? See if we can get the freeze. Let's see if we can get the freeze. Let's stretch it out a little bit more. There it is, baby. Everything's going perfectly, and we can do it again because it only costs 2 energy. Oh, Marine has dragon teeth, whatever the thing is called. Pew! She has dragon teeth. That's why she didn't die. That Marine was dead-deado. It's dead-deado anyway. Beautiful. So we even got to see the freeze. We used all of the skills that I have unlocked. There's only one that I'm missing. A steal. No, this guy's physical attack. Should we finish with the Doko Dragon? Nah, we don't finish with the Doko Dragon. Let's do this. Let's mark this guy again. Mark this guy. Oh, Jesus Christ. But this time, instead of the individual, we're going to use the one that splits out and see if we can finish them both off at the same time. Let's go. 44 and 23, ladies and gentlemen. That is Poseidon in a nutshell. He can AoE, he can single target, he can defense break, he can freeze, he can do a lot of things, including 2 summons. It is an insane unit. And that's going to be it for today, guys. That is the Poseidon review in a nutshell. I think this is probably going to be like a 20-something minute video, and most of it is going to be spent on the skills. I hope it helps you not only learn how to use them, but also decide if you want to build them. We'll be back tomorrow with more Poseidon things, including some summons we did on stream today, and also his special train hall, which is a little bit tricky in some levels. We managed to beat all of them today, so I will edit the video and post it tomorrow. That video will be in both languages, English and Spanish, so don't miss it. I'll leave you here for now. If you haven't already, please remember to hit like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye!